Hi guys, got 3 of you in. Boarding already. Look at that. How did my head get here? And what is that? Something just went really strange with FS in. Okay. Second the flight plan's in, yes it is, that's cool. Let's move all the windows around because they've all gone white and borderless. That's still working. Alright, first things first, ADIRU has to go on. me get that head back into the right position. There it is. Perfect. These things set up correctly. Go down here, inertial reference. We are at VHHH. Hopefully we won't have any holes in taxiways that shoot into oblivion this time. I have done a slight reordering of the scenery. Unfortunately I had to get rid of that photographic stuff, because I think that's what was conflicting. VHHH to RJBB. We are again UAE 214 Victor. Let's listen to Winnatus. I know one's there. What's that? Is this running? Yeah, it's apparently running. You guys can see me, can't you? Let's see. Yeah, I didn't reboot the whole PC, I just shut down Flight Sim and rebooted it again. This is confusing me up there. Oh, you guys can't see it anyway. Cool. It's like FSN is trying to crash. Maybe it will succeed at some point. Anyway, direct Ocean V3 Envar M750 Yankee 53 to Becky. And today we have 179 tons. Something's gone wrong. Okay, something is seriously starting going wrong. Flight sim's fine. It's just everything else that's attached to it. Let's shut down FSN. In quit. Ah. There's all sorts of half windows floating around. Not even sure you guys can hear me or see me even. Congestion settings, that's fine. Split broadcast is not so fine. I can't even tell if it's okay or not. I can hear myself, so apparently it's kind of working. Let's see if opening FSN will crash everything. Big flash in the screen there. Well, I don't have access to XSplit Broadcaster, so I'm not sure if I can even get auto. I can't monitor it happening. I'm just waiting for my broadcast to catch up. You can probably hear that in the background. Anyway, the flight's okay. Apparently I'm joined back into VATSIM again. Cool. And we've got ATIS 128.2. Let's listen to that.
QNH 102 Noses. Papa at time 0930 expect IIS approach arrival runway.
Yep, looks like I can't swap windows on, well, I can't get auto the autopilot up, so he's not here.
Right, transition level 50, wind 330 degrees, 9er. Dew point 5, QNH 102, noses, advise on initial contact.
Alright, let's continue with the putting of stuff in. Our reserves.
30, expect LS approach, arrival, runway 07 left.
Is that meant to be doing that? Is that how it's been recorded?
50, wind 330 degrees, 9er knots, visibility 9er. One, 0, 2, noses, advise on initial contact. You have information, Papa.
118.4. Grab that.
IIS approach, arrival, runway 07 left, depart.
Cool. That's working. Enter initial position, there we go. Route is fine. Performance initialization. Need the reserves. Final reserve is 2.8 plus the alternate, which is 1.3, 8, 10, 11, so 3, 4.1. Cruising altitude.
It is 90778, sorry, my mistake here.
Flight 390. And cost index is 100.
Here to Cebu via ocean to Osaka departure. Call for pick and start.
It'll be 55 on departure. Takeoff flaps will be 5. COG is 29.7.
And you are not safe from
7 left.
Ocean 2 Charlie. Yeah, it'll be one of those. Cool. Progress set. And we can shut the doors. We can depart in 5 minutes. Cool. Let's get rain on there. TCAS. We have information pop-up. Well, just for your info, I can't put auto back for the moment.
255, we correct.
Because XSplit Broadcaster has half crashed, but it's still actually providing a feed.
255, contact approved.
So I'm going to keep monitoring it on my other computer. It's not something I normally do, actually. And if it crashes, we might need to evacuate this particular room and go to Leg 5, Part 2 or something.
Correction.
But hopefully that doesn't have to happen.
By a house of 7, Whiskey, Bravo, and Bravo 8.
And I'm not wearing any pants, so when I get up, I'm going to have to put something over the front of that, like that. It'll happen. Alright, let's get some clearance and start going.
Standby on the ground.
Roger, almost standby. Aviation standby.
After takeoff, what? Resets. Reset normal. Normal. Oxygen. Test. Cool. What's our progress page doing? Calculate it. That's working now. That's cool. Flight instruments. Heading 072 on both sides. And yeah, that's about right. Pre-flight check complete. Before start, flight deck door is closed and locked. Seatbelt signs are on. MCP. We'll need all that stuff, but we don't get it until our departure, so we'll need to contact Tower. Hong Kong Tower, Emirates 214 Victor, is requesting clearance to Kansai.
Emirates 214 Victor, Hong Kong Tower, good afternoon. You're cleared to your destination via Ocean 2 Alpha departure, flight time Fox 5302.
Clear to Kansai via the Oceans 2 Alpha departure and squawk code 5302, Emirates 214 Victor.
Emirates 214 Victor, refine direct on the Pushback and ready.
214 Victor, okay. 02, there we are.
Tower,
Let's chuck the rest of that in. We are Oceans 2
Fancy
Alpha.
255, so transfer on the code 524.
7 right. Click. Route. Let's check that. That's good. Takeoff data. V1 and rotation is 138.
Also say your transfer on the code
I'll turn that down a
5302.
touch. Cool.
5303.
And V2 is 148, which we'll set there.
Tower,
148 set. So what's the initial climb on Oceans?
Thank you very much. Taxi holding point from 07 right, via
have that.
52, Whiskey, Juliet, and Juliet 1.
2 Alpha. There it is. Let's wait for that to load up.
Ready for Pushback 5977.
9778, Pushback approved to change that.
Pushback approved, 8 left, 7.
Anyway, MCP is set. V2, heading track. We're just waiting on the altitude there. Takeoff speeds have been set. V1 and VR are the same. V2 has been set on the Barg 148. CDU pre-flight has been completed. Trim is not yet done. Taxi and briefing on the beacon. 2 Alpha. It's got to be, there we are, altitude. 2 Alpha.
Greenland 00, are you able to receive flight?
5,000 feet. Thought it would be.
Korean 004.
5,000 feet is set. I'm going to switch that to
via Alpha 7, Alpha 10, and
MCP
Bravo
is set,
8.
altitude is set. Trim. I'll need to turn on beacon for that. Let's get all of these boys going and then move that trim forward. What trim did we need again? That'll be an initial rise reference. 2.5.
255, Combo Charlie, and line up runway 7 right, Ryan Reef.
Roger, Foxtrot line of weight running 07 right.
2.5 set, roughly. Taxi and takeoff briefing. So we're on I was looking at our stand before. Stand Echo 3, we'll need to push back, tail to the left, nose to the right. Then we taxi down, probably hotel, full length of hotel. Actually there's a taxiway that goes on to Juliet, so it might be that. Juliet all full length. So hotel or Juliet full length, left turn, then we take off. Alright, we've got fairly light load today. We'll be derating fairly heavily. 55 degrees was the derate. So it's V1 and V rotators the same. So we can all board right up to the takeoff. If we do continue and have any failures that develop after we rotate, we'll continue to take off. We are VFR. We prefer a left-hand turn.
255, 133 degrees, 9 knots.
And in fact, during the normal takeoff, there will be a left-hand turn involved.
Right down to 255.
Not left-hand turn and right-hand turn. Actually, it's pretty much straight ahead and then a right-hand turn. That's fine. That's what it is. Popra. Now we'll be using LNAV and VNAV for departure. Let's alarm those now because we can. And let's get ready to push. And we are going nose to the right.
Nancy 255, contact ready off, frequency
Let's go on to Kevin. Call everyone. Kevin crew, arm doors and cross track.
Hong Kong, Tower 59, 7 taxi, runway 71.
Taxi takeoff briefing is complete. Before start checklist is complete, let's go on to engines.
Negative, taxi holding point correction, taxi holding point from 07 left via Bravo 7, Bravo.
And this was Papa. Control right down.
Taxi
wheel trucks, let's get rid of those.
Via Bravo 7, Bravo Alpha 1, should be 9778.
Trucks are off. And let's call. Hong Kong Tower, Emirates 214 Victor, rear at gates, Echo 3, ready for push with Papa.
Emirates 214 Victor, pushback approved, face south.
Pushback approved and facing south, Emirates 214 Victor. We've been approved, parking brake is released. Clock's on. Fuel rolling, we have packs on, auto, and hydraulics are rolling. Okay, we'll start engine with the right hand side first. And 2 rising, fuel control to run. EGT rising. Stabilize 555. Start to cut out. Let's start the left engine. N2 rising. Fuel control to run. Hope we can make a clean run all the way to Kansai and then worry about shutting down the computer after that. Anywho. starting to cut out. And engine stable. Let's go back to the before taxi checks. We have anti-ice will not be required on takeoff. It's set to auto anyway. Recall. Recall checked. No items. Water brake. Water brake is set to RTO. Now I just need flight controls. I'll also take out the APU. Logo's on. The rest of that's cool. Okay then. Full deflection to the right. Full forward. And center the deflection of spoilers. And over to the left. Fully back. And neutralize. Just wait until they stop pushing us before we do the rudder. Parking brake is set.
Stockholm Tower, Korean 253, straight to land, running 07 left. Korean 254, Stockholm Tower, good afternoon.
Checking rudder. Full deflection to the right.
Runway 7 left, clear to land.
And back to the neutral.
That's
And across the
07
left.
left. Korean 254.
And back to the neutral. Flight controls have been checked.
Hong Kong Tower 339, looking short, runway 7 left.
And just waiting on the ground
Is
equipment.
this 9778?
We'll also set flaps while we wait. Flaps 5.
Traffic inside 39778, walking Charlie.
Overhead looks good. Sorted. APUs and cool down.
Behind the landing on Boeing 747, line up runway 7 left and wait behind.
Line up, runway 7 left and wait behind. It will be 9778.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Copy, you're clear to disconnect, thank you. Making a phone call here. Hong Kong Tower, Emirates 214 Victor with Papa ready for taxi.
Emirates 214 Victor, taxi out in point runway 7 right via Hotel 9, Juliet and Juliet 1.
Hotel 9 Juliet to runway 07 right, Emirates 214 Victor.
Philippines 9778, wind 010 degrees, 7 knots, runway 7 left, clear to take off.
Cleared for takeoff, 7 left, 59, 778.
So what was that via Hotel Juliet? Hotel 9 Juliet, Juliet Hotel. Hotel 9 Juliet. Okay, that makes sense. Taxi lights on. Forward light as well. Let's get moving.
Korean 254, taxi to gate November 20 via November 11 and Bravo 9.
Cabin's ready.
Okay. Korean 254, taxi gate November 20 via taxiway Bravo 9. Taxi to November 20. Taxi via Bravo 9, Korean 255. 1597, contact Hong Kong radar, 123.8. Goodbye.
122.8.
138 is our departure frequency.
Hong Kong Tower down 255, requesting VFR to Hong Kong High Channel again.
That's 255 for your Korean contact Holiday on 123.8.
That's a nice sunset there. Look at that. Zoom out a touch. Follow the chart. We also had 123.8 to set. That's done. Yeah, that's pretty
Tower
cool.
down 255,
Yes, that's the 255. You're clear for first flight to Kai Tak, and your slot 5202.
This is High Pass, yeah, I have visual complete. 2000, walk 520, 2500.
Okay, before takeoff checklist, flaps are set to 5. It's takeoff
And
checklist.
right one, your route is correct, cause of perfect. And no, call, yeah, cause of perfect, then ready.
We are ready.
Reducing thrust to maintain speed.
And 2255, perfect, please.
Take first. Start with the food tank. Tower
Instagram TCAS and transponder is on TARA.
Taxi 255, taxi out of climate 07 right via taxiway Golf 1 and shoot.
And auto brake RTO, passenger signs are on, doors automatic.
Off 1 2 1
APU is off. And takeoff checks are complete. I'm happy to call that ready.
LSGG 255, wind 01037 knots, runway 7, we're right, to take off.
Let's take off and right stand 255.
Move over a bit. There we go. It's about perfect. That's
Hold
pretty
on,
cool.
255 airborne.
255, Stockholm, Charlie.
Sorry, sir.
Okay, now contact Hong Kong radar. Set the frequency of 119, decimal 1.
1191, that's changed.
119.1.
There we go. That's not actually what I meant to do.
Emirates 214 Victor, line up runway 7 right.
Line up 7 right, Emirates 214 Victor. Tiny bit more thrust. Just keep it rolling. Goodbye, son. I'll see you in San Francisco. It's dark outside as well.
Tower 144, request local
7 right, confirmed.
Emirates 214 Victor, wind 01037 knots, runway 7 right, set to take off.
7 right, clear for takeoff, Emirates 214 Victor. All lights are on. Clock. We are clear for takeoff. Just waiting to get aligned.
Right, this 144, Osaka, good afternoon. You're clear to full visual flight to Kansai. That's transform to go to 2.
55.
To 42.
Toga.
We are about to transmit for 5242.
Demonstrably not.
Oh, is this 144? We're by your perfect call for the background. Ready.
Ah, down that again. Rotate. Gear up.
OS 144.
Climb thrust set.
Emirates 214 Victor, contact Hong Kong radar, frequency of 119, bye-bye.
Over the radar, 119.1, Emirates 214 Victor, see ya. That's one.
Clear to land, runway 13, then 225.
Don't have the fucker. Hong Kong radar, Emirates 214 Victor, climbing through 4,000 for 5.
Emirates 214 heavy Hong Kong radar identified, proceed ocean to travel departure, runway maintain 90,000.
I maintain 9,000, Emirates 214 Victor. So autopilot on, so I can't be bothered. We get 9. What's going on there? It's climbed to 9,000, you stupid thing. Flaps up. Flight level change, full thrust. Ah, it's doing its 1 minute too. That's cool. Nothing much on the wind here. Nothing at all.
Heavy, detect Hong Kong on 1 with the flight.
Under 1.3 will be an X1. That might have been for us as well. Let's break up a bit.
Emirates 214 Victor, heavy contact Hong Kong radar 121.3.
There's radar 121.3, Emirates 214 Victor. On to 1.3, set. And yes, this is 777 PMDG. Last one was pretty much on the dot. The first one was way too loud. This one
Romeo for Delta 123, yeah, stand by.
is a bit loud. Okay. Hong Kong Control, Emirates 217 Victor, flight at 9,000.
Emirates 214 Victor, Hong Kong radar. Turn left direct N-bar, climb flight level 250.
Flight level 250, direct to Geneva, Emirates 214 Victor. 240, direct Geneva, let's give it a heading, let's go. Right, direct Geneva. Execute, that's a bit of a shortcut, and let's get back onto those Landing lights off and taxi lights off. Logo beacon, that's fine.
Romeo to Delta 23, you're outside of Hong Kong airspace at the moment. I'll give you coverage as you get closer in, probably about another 20-30 miles. I'll send you a message.
Good idea. So you may have heard at the beginning of this video, I've lost control of the XSplit broadcaster program, which means that I can't swap between different windows, which means that webcam is always going to be on. And I've just figured I've got a box here that fits the webcam pretty well. So when I get up to put my pants on, yeah, that happened. We're going to have to box that up so you don't see it. Something like that. Does that work? Doesn't really work. Have to find some other thing to point it at. Maybe just the white will do. Gonna give that a little try. Now I've got a delay of about 3 or 4 minutes. And in other unfortunate news, I'm a bit warm.
Hong Kong radar, Golf Romeo 516-190. Request a 90-second hold at 5 knots.
Golf Romeo 516. Just say again your requested hold point.
5 off, Victor, Indigo, Bravo, Oscar, Sierra, 90 right hand circuit, 5 off.
Golf Romeo 516, understood. That will still be outside of Hong Kong airspace, so you can operate as desired on Unicom.
Honda Unicom, 516.
Emirates 214 Victor, climb flight level 370. Emirates 214 Victor, climb flight level 370.
Flight level 370, Emirates 214 Victor. And 370 set. Here's a 777, my favourite aircraft. You know it's not. it's my favourite aircraft for flight sim, but in total I'm not sure. Used to be the Airbus A330, kinda still is. I might be being swayed by the 787. That was one heck of a ride. Loved it. And the A350 looks pretty promising as well. And set that to standard. And we've done the checklists. Let's go to comms. That's cool. And passenger signs can come off. Well, auto. Loading lights are off, strobes are on, loading can come off now. Yeah, everything else seems to be in order. I'm just going to drop a thing over the webcam so you can't see, because I can't switch to the co-pilot because he's, you know, weird.
Oasis 141, contact Hong Kong approach 119.1.
It's not that he's weird, it's just that my program that can put him on the screen has died. Batteries combust? That's a bad joke. It is a design problem, but I understand why they did it. And after having experience actually flying in the 787, I can say that I enjoy the way that it's a bleedless engine. You don't get your air conditioning delivered through the engine and then cooled down again with no humidity. It's a really nice design. You can really feel the difference in the air, literally. As in the air that you're breathing and sitting in, and how cold it is and how much moisture is in it. I've never felt more refreshed after an aeroplane ride than when I started. It's always been like, you get in the aeroplane, then by the time you land, you enjoyed the aircraft, but you don't feel the best. 787, you feel better after the flight. First plane I've ever had that I can say that about. I have no problems with composites in airframes. I also don't have problems with composites in bows, as in bows and arrows.
Outcome radio doctor in the problem. Just let you know, I'm in this old airport.
Go for it, 516.
Anyway, I need to go and get something, and I can't turn the webcam off, so I'm going to do this. Catch you a lot. When I get back, it won't be that long, 2-3 minutes.
To change the government to the base within my
Philippine 978. Emirates 214, to expect further climb in about 10 miles. Emirates 214 Victor, expect further climb in 10 miles.
On radar, KSFO 11, requesting altitude
Aircraft requesting descent, takeoff on.
Cathay 511.
Cathay 511, descent to flight level 110.
And flight level 110. Cathay 511.
And we're back. I'm just glad it's actually running. I'm scared to even touch the window because it's just white.
Hong Kong radio Golf November 6, exiting the hold, tracking direct Sierra.
Red Bull.
Golf November 516. Emirates 214 Victor, climb to flight level 390.
Climb flight level 390, Emirates 214 Victor. 390 set, flight level change, VNAV. There's that aircraft.
Hong Kong radar,
It's up.
Cathay 511, descending to flight level 110,
Cathay 511.
I've got one joystick with a twisty bit and about 900 buttons.
Romeo Conjolsa 1123, Hong Kong radar.
Satec Evo.
4262.
Also got throttle, one of the Satec ones with the three things. 3 screens. 2 of them are one computer and the third screen is a separate entirely computer. I might actually take the webcam and do that. Alright, that's the Satec Cyborg Evo.
Romeo Conjolsa 1123, identified. Turn left direct to Charlie Hotel. And
Screen.
descend to flight level
Screen.
110.
Screen. And the throttles. The that. There's a keyboard, there's 2 mice. And my desk is rather messy, so I probably didn't really want to do that. Especially without being able to see what's on the screen. I'll get to see what's on the screen in about 3 minutes. Then I'll be able to tell if that's anywhere close to where it should be. Looks about right. You can also see a massive mess on the desk behind me, but yeah. I'm watching myself and I've only just done the Red Bull thing, so that's how far behind I am. Just got the climb to flight level 390. I'm already at 390, but on the video stream I'm watching, I've just entered 390, started the climb. Now normally I'd monitor myself on XSplit Broadcaster. As I said, the entire window has crashed. I don't even know how it's running. There you go. I've been pushed over slightly, haven't I, in that climb? Zoom back a bit. Back to being perfect again. As you know, the Flight Sim 10 point of view moves around at random anytime you turn.
Premier video 1123, contact Hong Kong approach 119.1. Goodbye.
PHI, oh that's Philippines. Just looking at the placement of the camera.
Hong Kong radar, Golf Premier 516, review at time test.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Golf Premier 516, Hong Kong radar 5332 with high density.
453.
Let's review, where are we? Cool. Alright, so there's a little blog thing that I need to write for all the flights that I do. I don't need to, but I might as well do it. So home page, posts, and I'll make a new one.
Confirm 516 identified. Turn left direct to Charlie Hotel and climb to flight level 110.
Taxi reach Charlie Hotel and climb 110 516.
Hong Kong. I'll normally switch over to auto the pilot for this one, the co-pilot, but I'm just going to sit here and type. As entertaining as that sounds.
Premier 516, contact Hong Kong approach 119.1 clear.
One, that's not for us.
Contact approach on 119.
I don't think Type A's on. This flight goes through that funny bit of the world where China has decided that they own some airspace. You know that one? The AIDZ. Anyway, back to typing the vlog. Just want to check out my flight plan last time, because I know we went into a odd kind of altitude there over Mongolia. Let's see if that got captured. Apparently it did. Just need my own flight log, I guess, for entering Hong Kong. Details. Challenger Club caught the arrival into Hong Kong, but Vataware did not. Bit annoying. Gonna go to PFBX and see if that still has it. Yeah, it does. Let's get that heading back over.
Emirates 214 Victor, no further ATC online. Change to uniform now 122.8 Quebec.
Frequency change approved to 122.18, Emirates 214 Victor.
Cathay 511, okay.
122.8 Z. PFPX. Indoor 2D2. So yeah, PFPX is really good, but you really have to know how to use it. It's a very odd little program. What? I just looked at the screen and it was bouncing around like a nut. Weird. Yeah, anyway, PFPX, if you've seen, I think it's Carl Rogers that does a PFPX series. Really good. Kind of tells you what it does. Don't expect it just to be a one button press, your flight plan is magically made, but do expect it to say if you've made the right flight plan to depart at the correct time that you've actually departed at, then your fuel burn is going to be dead accurate. We're talking 100 kilograms off, and most of that from taxiing. And I've gotten to import the winds. Let's do that now. That didn't come through for some reason. Don't know why. Oh, there it is. Cool. 8.1. So there we go. We've changed that fuel burn prediction simply by importing the winds from PFPX. What did PFPX itself say? I have the wrong flight plan open. That one. Now, unfortunately, it does sometimes crash at random if you ask it to do too many clicks at the same time, which I think I might have just done. We'll let it recover and then reopen it once it dies if it does. Oh no, it's fine. Still got the wrong flight plan loaded. That's me. Double click. Compute. Release. Over the top. And now I can look. Cool. So let's look at our next waypoint. I can't swap between your screens now, so that's going to be a problem. Tonga. TONGA. So I'm actually burnt less fuel because we spent less time on the taxis, remember? We just went straight ahead and taxied off. But at the moment we're 17.1 and Torox 16.9. Not too bad. So I'm just burning 2 less. Well, I took off with 200 kilograms more fuel than I expected to. Mostly because I didn't take a full 10 minutes to get out to the runway. But you can adjust all of these features. If you have decided that you're going to be delayed by 10 minutes and you put the extra 10 minutes of fuel on board, you'll get there with exactly 10 minutes extra fuel on board. It'll calculate the fact that because you're carrying extra fuel, you weigh more, that means you burn more fuel, so you need to carry more than 10 minutes fuel to get 10 minutes fuel, if you understand what I say. You can reroute yourself. You can also save flight plans for future use. For the most part it brings up fairly plausible flight plans. They might not be exactly as the real world has been filing them. For instance, it's not actually flight aware, but it'll be plausible. Of course you might want to reroute yourself to be a little closer to the real world airlines, which is fine. One thing that people always seem to forget with PFPX, they go, oh, the winds didn't match. And then you ask them, well, what time did you set the flight plan to depart at? And what time did you actually depart at? So for instance, now I might go in and actually create my next flight plan for Kansai to San Francisco. If I told it that I was going to leave now, it would say, alright, you leave in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, because it's 10 minutes taxi time, and then it'll base all the weather predictions off that time. But of course I'm not going to leave in 10 minutes time, I'm going to be 3 hours away, or whatever it takes me to get to Kansai. Yeah, about 2 hours. So if I told it I'm going to leave now, and I actually left in 2 hours time, then there will be a big difference between what the wind is predicting. Incompatible with airport procedures, it knows all the SIDs and stars. It's got its own navigation database, which you actually update through Navigraph. So if it's on Navigraph, it's on PFBX. If it's not on Navigraph, then it's not on PFX. Although I have had a couple of funny of those issues where it bounces between airways for no reason. And you just smooth it out. You take a few out. You can manually edit it just by picking. You can, you know, through, what's that thing called? Sky Vector. You can click and drag waypoints around. So you have a track going from one place to another place to another place, and you say, I want to go through that airway, so just click and drag it through there. It'll do that. Or you've got the text editor at the bottom and you just highlight a section and hit the delete, and then that whole section's gone, and then you can just go, oh, now I'll join the dots. I love that bit. That's pretty cool. And you do have to remember also that real life airline software for routing doesn't come up with magically perfect things all the time. That's why they have dispatchers that are employees with people that have brains and lots of experience, because they have to look through programs like this, spot the problems and fix them. So if the real world of business airlines don't get perfect programs, then that means there's no such thing as a perfect program. That's why they have employees with basically ATPL licenses that don't fly. They just sit around making flight plans and tracking planes all day. Flight dispatch and flight following. That's the other fun part. When you've got PFBX, you can look at your zero fuel weight and your landing weight, and assuming you haven't been put into a hold, or if you haven't been vectored randomly or held lower like I was, then you'd have your landing weight already there on the paper. Yeah, I used to do the old 8 websites and all sorts of weird things to make a flight plan, and I'd get the fuel at the arrival airport reasonably accurately within about 2 or 3 tons. But if you ask me how much fuel are we going to have when we pass the waypoint Mumba, I'd have no idea. With PFBX we can actually do that, can't we? So I need to look for Mumba on my flight plan. There it is, and I expect to have 12.9, and I've been burning under by 0.1, so probably 12.8. 12.8 at Mumba, so that's that waypoint up there. How far away is that? It's about 320 miles away. Who dares me? 12.8. That's my prediction. Mumba, 12.8. That's how much fuel we'll have. Now, as you know, you can't see Mumba yet because the progress page hasn't filled out. It's only got the next 2 or 3. If you look at the position report, you'll get the one before. That doesn't even show fuel. Position fuel, there it is, 17. So that was Tonga. I'll just compare that to what I was expecting. I think we're 2 below, 16.9. So yeah, it was 0. Yeah, 0.1. So that's 100 kilograms off. It suggested that we burnt 100 kilograms more fuel, but as I said, we didn't actually taxi that long. The taxi was shorter than I expected. So based off that, I reckon numbers are going to be either 1 under or 2 under. Yay. Now PPX actually says it's going to be 13.0. So my prediction is 12.8, and I reckon we're going to get 12.8 or 12.9. Yeah, taxi on this flight was great. We just asked for taxi, we got straight out. Taxied along the parallel, and then turned left, and then we turned left and we're on the runway. And off we went. On the second world flight that I ever flew, we had 2 employees of various real world airlines in Australia, 2 different ones, and one was a flight dispatcher, and the other one was head of some department, safety or something like that, and they both bought their flight planning tools, a little bit like PFPX. And they kind of went head to head and made their own flight plans just to see who would get the most accurate one. And the results were surprising. I remember seeing them both tapping away at their laptops. And apparently the aircraft that they were using, which is based on that Project Magenta stuff, the aircraft was burning more fuel than the real one, which was interesting. But they were able to actually adjust the fuel burn calculations from the standard 737. As I say, you know, not all 737s or not all engines are the same. Some of them burn more fuel than others. So you just tinker the numbers for that particular registration. You can do that in PFPX as well. You've got aircraft profiles for each registration number. So you can actually make a whole fleet of aircraft, like 18 different 737-800s, all designated by 1 letter difference in the registration code. And you can actually change how much fuel they burn, like a percentage. This one burns 0.8% more in the climb, or 0.3 less in the descent, whatever. Although with PMDG it seems to be pretty close to 0% error. Which in a way is almost unrealistic. Yeah, that little bouncing effect from the landing. Not the landing. The landing was fine. Roll out, vacate in the taxiway, and then fall into the water, and suddenly speed away. It wasn't even a fall into water effect. Like when you fall into water, you go down, then the aircraft pops up about 1,000 feet, doing 250 knots. I'm used to that. But yeah, we ended up in Mars, so I've had to turn off that photo reel scenery. It's a pity. Good looking scenery, but we are flying at night time, so you can't see it anyway, so you might also have a taxi way that's not going to shoot you off into space. I seem to have lost TeamSpeak. Let's turn that back on. I don't think I am in the lead, actually. There's some people that started before I was able to get a chance to start. But I'm in a Boeing 777, so, you know. I'm not here to win, I'm here to raise awareness of the fact that this thing exists, and that there's a charity to give to, and that charity is justgiving.com/SkyGlobe. Now that money goes to the Thomas Cook Children's Charity, which gives money to sick and ill children in hospitals. Now they're looking to get $500. I haven't checked for a while. It's been at least 12 hours since I last checked how much money was in that bank, but they were approaching 50%, hadn't quite got there. I myself have donated 20 British pounds to the cause, which is about $35 in Australian money. And there's some firecrackers going off in my street. Random. I wonder if you guys can hear that as well. Maybe not. Okay, when we land at Kansai, we are going to have to probably reset the whole PC. So the next flight will be a little bit delayed, probably 40 minutes rather than 30. And the live stream won't come on straight away. But that's 2 hours in advance, so that's my intention. I'm going to set up all the stuff so we can connect it fairly quickly, but it's going to take an extra 10 to 15 minutes to do it. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. It's a bit weird. Maybe they had some leftovers from the years. I was going, where do I find that link for that charity thing again? Top left of the screen. Sky Globe. It's about 10 PM at night right now. For those of you not living in Australia, of course. Ah, we're at 50%. We've reached 50. I got a £10 from Gary, who also added £2.50 via gift aid. That's $12. £12. Yeah. So yeah, I'm halfway through my race, roughly, and we've got half the donations that are our target, exactly 50%. A little over now, actually. £250 will be 50%. We've got 253 and 37 pence. I can make a donation of as small as $2. No fault in that. £2, sorry. So that's like $4. We've got $5 to spare. Head up to that I was about to call it a waypoint. Yeah, that's really cool. I'm not tired at all. Let's go to the waypoint. It's a website. Go to the website if you have $5 spare and chip in. Or call it a waypoint. That'll be funny. Oh, musical aviators told me to come to this waypoint. Yeah. I haven't seen a message since SMN 1138 said Shokan is at the neighbours having a party. I'm just going to reset my stream here to see if there are any new messages. Because I suspect there probably are. Or there might not be. Maybe I'm a bit quiet while I type my message to the blog. And apparently that's the case. Cool. No worries. I like the moon over there. It's pretty cool. Can't see anything much out the window. That's the thing about flying at night. Can't see much. What's the local time at in Japan? I don't have a clock for that. Maybe I'll do a Google search. Remember, we're still looking at PFPX and the fact that we're going to cross Mumba with that amount of fuel that the PFPX told me. Whatever that was. Probably 13 or 13.1. Is that right? Let's just say PFPX told us that it's going to cross Mumba at 13 tons of fuel, and it was burning at 100 less. 100 kilograms less, not tons. More questions. Freeware aircraft that I fly. Do I fly? Last freeware aircraft that I really loved was the Project Tupolev in FS9. That was absolutely brilliant. They ported the one version over to FSX. It's not as good as the one in the FS9. The disarming of doors. Basically there's a little latch thing that they click, switch around, switch. Basically when it's armed, if you open the door that big slide for the escape pops open and it inflates. And if you disarm the doors, then when you open the door, you don't pop the chute. So the idea is, if you're in an evacuation situation, the doors are armed, so that when you pop open the door, you don't have to fall out into the tarmac from 500 meters high, or however high an aeroplane is when it crashes. And when you disarm the door, when you get to the gate, because you don't want it popping open and, you know, breaking the gate, or anyone standing near it. That's the arming doors and disarming doors. And usually the first officer will say it, or whoever's on the radio really. I'll just have a little switch down there. Well, obviously in the 777 you've got this thing. You get cabin interphone, then you can do PA to all. The all call is calling all the flight attendants. I literally have a little headphone piece. Door 1L, there's a telephone kind of thing next to the door, the front door, and that's generally where the lead flight attendant sits. So you hit the door 1, it'll ring them on the telephone, they'll hear a thing and there'll be a light going, and eventually when they answer it, that door 1L will actually pop in there, and then you can literally pick up that telephone right there, put it up to your ear and talk to them, and end call to hang up on it. Ground crew, obviously there's the guys that do the pushback. There's one guy called the wing walker, or just walker, and he'll have a headset plugged into the aircraft. Hit that. Obviously we can't do it because he's not plugged in, we're in the air, but that's fine. There's a directory over here so you can have all the doors, and there's usually 1 or 2 flight attendants sitting on a jump seat facing backwards on all of the doors. Well, when they're not up and about doing their thing. And you've also got the directory over here where you can go to conference, and you can pick 2 doors, or say one left and 2 left. So the person at the front on the left hand side, which is your lead purser, and the person on 2 left, which is not the lead purser, but you might need to talk to 2 people. All the people on the left, and of course that one, all the people on the right hand side of the aircraft, just in case you need to tell them something like, I don't know, can you please look out the right hand side of the aircraft because we have had an engine failure and there's some indications that EGT is high, can you see any fire, that kind of thing, and call. PA call is obvious. When you press that, then your headset microphone, or if you pick up that telephone, the telephone will be broadcast to everybody that's in the aeroplane over the loudspeaker. So you can make your "ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking" kind of speech. In general they'll do the disarm doors and arm doors through that as well, because the flight attendants don't want to sit there and pick up the telephone to hear you while they're doing important things like arming the doors. So about to pull off from the gate, so the aircraft's fully shut up, you're never going to open a door unless you're about to jump out because you're on fire or something. So we go, at this stage we're about to turn the engines on, PA all, cabin crew, please arm doors, or whatever, however you say it. And then when you're pulling into the gate, you don't want them to open the doors with the door still armed because you'll break something or someone. So click on that again, wait for the thing, PA in use. Now everything that you say is being broadcast through the whole aircraft, and you'll say whatever. Anything from "this is your captain speaking" to "cabin crew, disarm doors, cross check." And that's what that does. Of course, on the Boeing 737 you don't have that amazing piece of interface, you just have something that resembles that. And one of these things would be, I think, cabin speaker, something like that, maybe that. CAB, that one there. I think that might be the one. So hit MIC, and whenever you see the MIC lit up, that's the radio or auditory device that your headset is now connected to. So anything that you say while that's picked up, I think you might have to push the transmit button as well on the yoke there. Not sure about that. But you press the mic down and anything that you say is going to the cabin. Whereas if you come over here, select VHF1, now everything that you say is being broadcast to air traffic control. Or whatever frequency happens to be there, 122.8 in that instance. Now there's also a center radio, which is that one. It's currently in data mode, which is basically used for your CP, DLC and that kind of thing. And it will decide what frequency it needs to be on automatically in that mode. And then you've got VHF right, which is of course that radio over there next to the first officer. It's not going to be a sunrise till next flight. About halfway through a 9-hour flight it'll pop up. The sun only went down 3 hours ago. 2 hours ago. Yeah, about 2 hours ago. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that little tour of the cabin interphone, which is present in PMDG, but it doesn't really do anything, obviously, because there's no actual aeroplane attached to this simulator. Crew rest area, that's right. So you can click the crew rest area for the pilots, which you access by going through that door and up some stairs. That's the cabin door, by the way. That's how you get to the cabin as well, or leave the aeroplane. And the crew rest flight attendant area, which is right up the back of the plane and upstairs. There's a bunk in there. 2 beds. I think the flight attendant area has 4 beds, like 2 bunks, whereas the crew rest for the pilots, obviously there's only 1 bunk, 2 actual beds for 2 people to be in. So if you're hammering along and you've got the captain, the actual proper captain is taking a nap, like how I will be next flight. Please don't message me. Anyway, yeah, the captain on a long flight will actually go into the crew rest area and sleep, hopefully. Sit inside a brain in a bed. I hate being asked a question about what my real life favourite aircraft is, because I pretty much like all of them for some reason. There's a couple that I don't like, but they're far and few between. There's usually some reason that an aircraft exists. You know what I really like is a real aircraft, and I don't care what it is. If I'm sitting in a Piper Cherokee or Piper Warrior or Piper Rancher or a Cessna 172, that's my favourite aircraft. It might be really hot and stuffy and I might be sweating like a pig, like the last time I was in the Piper Archer. Thanks, Sergeant. Flying around in, like, what was it, 35 degrees Celsius heat. The thing doesn't actually have a air conditioner, so it's just raw heat. The only way you can make it colder is by climbing. So you get out there and climb up to about 6,000 feet and then you're a bit cooler. But while you're sitting on the ground with the engine off, worst thing ever. But you love it. I'm going up next month, in fact. Exactly a month from now. Well, okay, I'll say it the other way. Exactly a month from now, I should be home after enjoying a very enjoyable flight in a real plane. I don't like military aircraft. They just don't do it for me. So I don't hate them, I just don't get it. People go, oh cool, that's an F something or other. I'm like, it's got one guy in it, it's making lots of noise. Carries weapons. Boring. It's not boring, just don't like them. Though that said, I do have the VRS F-18, But the reason I got that was because it was a really good showcase of some stuff you could do in FSX, such as head-up display and that FLIR thing that they've got going. That's pretty amazing. But apart from that, it's a good technology demonstrator. But I don't really like the aircraft itself. I know that sounds unpatriotic because I'm an Australian, and F-18s are Australians' like biggest frontline fighter. Whatever. Boring. So military stuff's not really interesting me. Old aeroplanes don't really interest me that much either. Like, you can say the Constellation, yeah, it's a good looking aeroplane. It's old, it's noisy, done its dash. I always joke about, I don't really like old vintage aeroplanes like the SR-71 and the Concorde and the Space Shuttle, because they don't fly anymore. Of course, when they used to fly, they were pretty awesome. Here's some funny things. People always bag some kind of aircraft. I hate Airbus. I hate Boeing. I hate all Russian airplanes. Well, no. I like Russian airplanes as much as an Airbus. Good ones, like current, proper jets. I'm not talking about 1950 Russian airplanes or military stuff. Don't like the military stuff. Bores me. So Tupolev 154. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Oh, they crash all the time. Yeah, but look where they operate. Look how they're operated. And look at how many crashed due to technical problems. Almost none. They got the Sukhoi, which is coming out soon, the regional jet, Sukhoi 100. Unfortunately, they did happen to crash one by flying it into a mountain. Not quite deliberately, but in a way that was really stupid. Tu-144, it's a Concorde ski. I'd say the same thing about it as I say about the Concorde. Actually, it's pretty cool. I'm told the 144 was very unstable in flight though, hence the canard was required. And since it never actually really entered civilian service, I mean, what's the point? You've got yourself a test bed for doing testing with. It's not exactly a useful aircraft, is it? If you can stack a few people in it and transport some people or things, then I'm interested. Not just the pilot by himself, by the way. That might be one of the reasons I don't like both crop dusters and fighter jets, because I see them as a similar thing. They're not really that similar, are they? Responsible procedural aviation, that's my interest. Making systems work, not lighting a hair on fire and flying upside down. Is that silly? Hyperbole, of course. Some airplanes need them. Certainly the Tupolev 154 is one heck of a handful with two pilots, because there's so many systems that just don't do anything unless you touch them. Of course, we have computers now, so one could say, at least on the Boeing 777, that button right there turns that screen right there into your flight engineer. So there's a flight engineer, and we don't need him anymore. Of course, if you're doing that on a 727, you don't have all these screens everywhere. So unless you retrofit your 727 to be a glass cockpit, you do need your flight engineer, and you might even need one other person. as far as ordering Boeing to make a flight engineer for your 767 and pretty much just ripping the entire overhead panel and sticking it over there on its side. Thanks, answer. I wonder why he went bust. It's harsh, I know, but true. I think it's true. Aerosoft A330. I don't like the A320, as we all know. It kind of works, but no, I don't like it. Will I buy it? Not sure. I like the A330. It's one of my favourite aircraft, but Aerosoft's A320 kind of puts a downer on that feeling. I'll wait for FS Labs, even if it isn't 2058. One more set of eyes. Well, a flight engineer isn't one more set of eyes. He's looking at his instruments over there. When we say set of eyes in the cockpit, we usually mean people looking out for aeroplanes so you avoid a mid-air collision, isn't it? I guess you could say there's an emergency and something's gone wrong with the aircraft, so you tell flight engineer, deal with that while we continue to do the piloting thing. I can see a point in that. But with useful CRM management, you can get away with 2 people. Note, 2 people. You'll never get away with 1. Not in an aircraft this complicated. You might get away with 1 when there's a 4-seat airplane with 1 engine. And I have a air conditioner that turns itself off randomly at night. Yeah, it's kind of done that and I've lost its remote control. There it is. Turn that back on. It's just a star. Saw something flickered there and thought it was an aircraft. Did I overfly compass, the real one? I have to be a very, well, I have a story about that. My parents are very wary about compass for some reason. They thought they were going to go under. And then they did. And I bought I waited for a while. Ah, they won't go under. They've been around for a year. That's my ticket. So, no, I actually never flew with compass. I did get a ticket with them once, but then I got a refund. I would have liked to have flown either of the aircraft, really. They had, was it A310s or A300s? Can't remember. One of the Airbuses. And they also had, of course, the MD-83. It's a brilliant aircraft. But I did fly on its bigger brother, the 717-200. Managed to get a jump seat in July of 2001 into Brisbane. So I have a kind of soft spot for the 717. Number will be 13, 13.1, or 12.9. Maybe 13.1 or 2, I reckon. Yeah, that makes sense. We've been tracking between 1 and 2. I think it's 1.5 or maybe 1.6. Should I say 0.15 or 0.16? There we are, 13.2 at Mumba. A310 and A300. I have flown in an A300 thanks to Qantas aka Australian Airlines. But I've never been in a 310. I know they're almost the same. It's almost like saying I have been in an A320, but I've never been in an A319. Same difference. No good 717 add-ons that I know of. Depends on good, but for me, no. And I think even the definition of good has a flight management computer, because they really do. If you walk into a 717 cockpit, it looks like an MD-11, just with 2 engines, and a lot smaller. Oh, that's a hard one. Qantas or Ansett? We all know now that Qantas survived. The very first airliner I ever flew on, I was possibly 2. I remember when I was 4, same airliner, same destination, was a Boeing 747-200 with the Qantas livery with that orange stripe down the end of it and the wing painted on the kangaroo. But yeah, Ansett took me domestically pretty much everywhere. My first flight alone without my parents was on an Ansett 737-300, and I still remember the registration, and I think every spotter in Australia that was around in the 1990s knows the registration. Susie Q, Charlie Zulu, Quebec. And they actually used to fly around with the without the call sign Ansett. I used to actually fly around with the registration call sign. And yeah, my first flight by myself without my parents, I was about 8 years old, something like that. Went up to Coffs Harbour to visit a friend's farm. And yeah, Charlie Zulu Quebec, CZQ. And that particular aircraft eventually turned into a Virgin aeroplane, Virgin Australia, well, Virgin Blue as it was then. Virgin Blue's only 737-300 that they ever had rented. And I flew it in both liveries, in the Ansett and as the Virgin Blue, which is entirely white with a Virgin thing with a red nose. That was classy. Susie Q, the red nose 737. With a white fuselage. With Qantas, my very first flight, 2 years old, 3 years old, something like that, was over to Auckland because my parents were New Zealanders, came over to Sydney on their own actually. Dad had some business stuff to do over here. And pop over to New Zealand, back to Auckland every so often. And yeah, mostly flew Qantas back in the old days. Nowadays we fly with Emirates or whoever happens to have a special on. I was very close, or might even still be very close to booking a ticket across on the Jetstar 787. And this might be news to you guys that you might want to capitalise on, but in February and March, Jetstar is flying the 787 from Melbourne to Auckland daily. So might want to jump on that instead of buying the A320 bus. Nothing wrong with an A320, but when you're stuck in one for 3 hours, then there's something wrong with it. If you're in a 787 and you're confident enough to get out of your seat and walk around a bit, you'll find that you can walk around very happily doing this with your arms. It's amazing. Apart from that, you're not sweaty, you're not dry, your mouth's fine. It's beautiful. 787, best plane ever. Yeah, 747-200 series with Qantas back in 1985, something like that. Maybe even earlier, 84. They used to have a, I think it was orange coloured, brown coloured. It's kind of weird stripe straight down the middle of the fuselage where the windows are, and the red tail, so it really clashed and looked really ugly. It's a really bad livery. Some people like it, but no. Those two colours just didn't go together. The red of the tail and the orangey bluey, no, orangey brown kind of dirt coloured stripe. And the wing on the kangaroo. Normal kangaroo with this wing on it. Penciled in, wasn't even solid. It's hilarious. I remember that because I got a little model, you know, you're a 3-year-old kid in the plane, so they give you a little toy. Yeah. I don't have that anymore. I think I think a dog ate it. My uncle's dog. Or started to destroy it. So we threw it out. I've never flown into Wellington ever. Never mind the 80s. I know, I'm deprived. Windy Wellington. Every time I've gone to New Zealand, it's to do with family, and family is all in Auckland, or near Auckland, or the Waikato River, which means you fly to Auckland and then you drive for 2 hours, or Thames Bay of Thames, I think it's called. Progress position report. Fuel was 13.0. How about that? Not even a variance at all. So that's PFPX. PFPX, before we even started flying, said that we were going to pass Mumba with 13.0 fuel, and we did. I made that flight plan an hour before we took off. How about that? So that's PFPX, has just proved itself to be pretty damn accurate. This is funny, I've got problems, which means that I can't swap between having good old Otto, the co-pilot, on my live stream, and basically it's forced me into talking. So we've had a great conversation. The SP, yes, I used to love that thing. It looks so wrong. It's just a comical thing. Massive tail, short fuselage. Back in the days of, if you want this aircraft to go far, then make it short. I've been through the UK, I wouldn't say to it. I ended up at Heathrow Airport for about an hour on the way to Denmark with an orchestra, so that was pretty fun. Didn't get to see the UK, I got to see the inside of Heathrow Airport. That's all I've ever seen of the UK. Well, that and out the plane window in the dark, because we arrived at like 6 in the morning or something crappy. So yeah, I've been to the UK. My feet have touched the ground inside Heathrow Airport and left on a plane. Sorry I haven't been for longer. Like really. Would have been nice to actually stop off there maybe, but didn't happen. Didn't happen. Yes, I've been a 747-400. In fact, that's related to the last story. From Sydney up through Kuala Lumpur, I think it was. No, that was on the way there. It was through Bangkok. And on the way back, it's through Kuala Lumpur. So yeah, plenty of time in a 747-400. No, I haven't flown first class, but I have flown business class a few times. Never done first class thing though. And as you might know, I've got a video of me in business class on Jetstar 787. I was in row number 2 on the right hand side window. Not a bad plane. I keep on raving on the 787, don't I? I'm a 787 fanboy. Before I took the ride on the 787, I was a little bit dubious. I thought, nah, I'm doing this for interest's sake. It's a plane. And when we arrived in Cairns, I said, that's the best plane I've been in. From a passenger's experience. And a week after that, I met a guy that actually flies real 787s for Air India at WorldFlight. Pretty cool. I would fly first class if I didn't have to pay to fly on first class, because it's not really worth it. Business class is great. Don't need any more than that. Of course, if someone said, I can upgrade you from business class to first class for a reasonable amount of money, say 40 bucks, 50 bucks, and we're flying with something like Etihad Airlines or the one we're flying in right now, Emirates, then certainly, yeah, I'd probably consider that. Probably wouldn't bother in Qantas, to be honest. 787 windows. It's not so much the size about them that I was impressed with, but if you know anything about, well, flying domestic in economy, most windows are well below, like for me, chin level. They're about level with my chin. 787 windows aren't. Well, maybe it's because they're bigger, but you're looking your whole face like that. That's the window. And it's pretty much right there at your face. And they have that great little thing where you can turn down the shade so you can still look out the window, but you're not getting glare from the sun, because you just shade the window. Make them black, or make them a little bit black, or blue, halfway in between. I think there's 8 settings on the thing. Completely clear down to completely black, anywhere in between. It's great. Korean controllers online. Let's see. Yeah, South Korea. But the Japanese aren't online. That'll be pretty cool if they come on. Okay, as I was saying. Is that just Tokyo though? Not responding. I knew this would happen. Okay, I'm gonna have to reboot the sim. This is gonna happen. I'll chuck a window up in front so you don't look at my desktop. This has happened like most of the flights today. Oh, the whole thing's going down. Oh, that's difficult. I have not flown British Airways. Trumpet's okay. I don't get to play in performance enough these days. It's a bit annoying. Wouldn't mind doing more with it. Wouldn't mind having some weekends off. Wouldn't mind having to work less in general. Work less, play more music. Yeah, wouldn't mind. But yeah, haven't flown on British Airways. Or have I? No, I haven't. I've done Qantas, I've done Malaysian, and I've done SAS. That was pretty cool. Up to Copenhagen. That's my only European experience. And of course all the Australian airlines. Anything from literally Australian Airlines, flown on Ansett obviously. Eastern Australia Airlines, which is basically Qantas Link. Qantas, Impulse, I like them with their big blue cockatoo livery. That's the best livery ever. Ah, cool. Saxophonist. I used to play the saxophone, but I stopped at some random point in like early high school. Wouldn't mind picking one up again. I don't think I remember the fingerings on those things. I can remember the embouchure. It was just a little uncomfortable for me, especially playing trumpet at the same time. Well, not at the same time, but you know, concurrently. They kind of clashed a bit. There we go. So we're just going to hit the load button and we're going to hit auto save. That's come up okay. That's fine now. So the auto save will every about 5 minutes or so just save a thing, and then Microsoft Flight Simulator can reboot from that location. As I said, it's about 5 minutes, so we probably lost 5 to 10 minutes here, which is a bit annoying. Then we've actually lost what else have we lost? Weather and connection to VATSIM. So I need to refile the flight plan while that's happening. Let's get over there, do that. That always happens. Then that's filed. I'll do it a second time. And that looks good. Now I just wait for that to happen. Keep talking because this is boring bit. This is where I normally flicked over to the music and just play the tune. Okay, that was interesting. Looked like a comment just flew past. That was hilarious. Now this is the funny thing with PMDG 777. If you load from the state, it'll have the sound off until the systems are all initialized. Then you'll get all these weird indications everywhere. And then you hit FS Copilot and FS In. And try to avoid sneezing into the microphone, because that's really loud. FS In is ready to go. Now let me just check the time, 54, we've lost 7 minutes. So I need to reset the clock. World at time and season. Yeah, GMT is 12:02. Yep. Ah, I did lose stuff. Oh yeah, I've got a little mute button on the ear, so I just go, I'm going to cough now. And now you didn't have to hear that. So that's what happened. Fokker F-27 Friendship. Yes, I have flown with East West Airlines. My very first East West Airlines flight was from the Gold Coast to Sydney, after my mum had been stung by something weird on the Gold Coast, and we had to kind of, in an emergency, come home. So the cheapest way to get home was on not an F-27 Friendship, was it? It was a F-28 Fellowship, the Jet. I love those things. Best plane ever. Let's log on to BatSim. Let's see if our flight plan survived. And it has. Now I need the weather back. ActiveSky Next. So yeah, Fokker F-28 Fellowship was one of the more unusual jets that I've been in. I certainly enjoyed that quite a bit. I was, what, 5 or 6, maybe 7 years old? No, I wasn't 7 yet. I was 6. And I knew that it was a different aircraft that I'd been used to. So up to that point we've been flying in, what, 747s and the odd Dash 8, 737s. Yeah. So yeah, the Fokker F-28 Fellowship. That's a plane and a half. Although I have been on F-27 as well. They're not too bad. Used to fly to Coffs Harbour quite a bit, and you get the old Dash 8, the old 300s. They're pretty cool. You know what the bad thing is? I've been in plenty of Dash 8 300s from the time I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I've never been in a Q400 yet. I've seen a lot of them, but I haven't flown in one. I didn't get an East-West BAE 146, unfortunately. I missed that. I missed that indeed. Got an Ansat one, which is the same thing, just a different livery. Probably the same aircraft, in fact. Yeah, Melbourne weather. How about that? I think we were talking about that in the first video, because I departed on Friday, yesterday. Feels like it was a long time ago, probably because I've been awake the whole time, on and off. Just need to check through the cockpit, make sure I don't have anything out of place. That sometimes happens. Yeah, it seems to be fine. I'm ready to publish that. Cool. Any more questions? Maybe need to refresh the page because it sometimes just stops updating, which is a pain. Turn the sound down again. And there it is. I'm still amazed that that stream's actually going, because the program that runs the stream has crashed. It's still there, kind of half dead. Makes no sense. Or at least that sim died, it usually doesn't die a second time until next time. So we get one takeoff and then you have to reset the sim, then you get one landing and then you have to reset the sim again. And it's not just the 777 either, I get that happening on 737 sometimes and Dash 8 Q400 sometimes. It's FSX itself. One day we'll have a flight simulator that's programmed in 64-bit. Then we won't have to worry about the out of memory errors. One day. Questions? Might as well start eating. Never got the PPL, because I never got the medical. Although I did get a provisional medical that lasted like 2 months or something, so I could do my solo. Then I did some area work, but I never did an area solo. After that I decided, hey, this isn't going to be a career. And it's costing, you know, $300 a flight, minimum. So I stopped. But yeah, I did the first solo with a provisional medical. Which I'm not even entirely sure that was that provisional medical was warranted at the time. But I was what, 18, 19 years old, so they're okay with that for 2 months. and I had to do more testing and stuff with doctors and crap, which would have ended up probably more expensive than the flying. So I don't like doctors poking and prodding me and then charging $1,000 for it. So I didn't, and I never got the full medical. I just got the provisional. So that happened. But yeah, flew a Cessna 172. Its registration was Mike Hotel Golf. Belongs to Bazair in Bankstown. Bazair. And they also had Charlie Lima Sierra, which I used to fly around a bit, but apparently 2004 or so they crashed it. Well, someone crashed it. They ran off the end of the runway and into a car. That's what happened. So Charlie Lima Sierra is no more. Mike Hotel Golf still flies around for Bazair. That's been around since, what, 1974 when it was built. Cessna 172 Mike. Yep. First solo at Bankstown, second solo where you do the 3 circuits, and the final solo where you go out to the aircraft yourself, prep it yourself, and do the full walk around and all of that, and then they just come out to make sure you're not going to kill yourself, and then you go and taxi away by yourself, and then come back and tie down the aircraft. Then they sign you off to make sure that's not going to blow away. I love that one. I like the area stuff as well, starting to do some navigation stuff, but that's when my medical ran out, and it's pretty much I can do it with the instructor, but I can't go out, take a plane by myself anymore without paying thousands of dollars to a doctor. So that's alright. I still get a bit of fun with Arjun, of course, who's now an instructor himself. That's right, Arjun Murthy is now an instructor rated pilot. So he's got work as well as an instructor, Uni of New South Wales. That's pretty cool. So I'll sometimes go out and throw some money at him, and we can go halves in a Piper Cherokee, or Piper Archer, should I say. And he'll fly it, and I'll look and take lots and lots of videos and pictures and all sorts of stuff. Just sitting in a little aeroplane up the front, pointy end, and navigating, and well, I'm not sure if he'd say that he does the stuff, does let me do the stuff, but certainly he lets me feel like I've done some flight planning and all that stuff. So that's cool. The sock. At least it's not the American tradition where they rip his shirt on tails. That's that kind of sucks. What can I say? Americans. And the M. I'm not even sure they do that anymore. Probably not. Get sued. I'm still not in range of this Tokyo controller. What's he doing? He's not Tokyo, he's Sapporo. Is that the far north? I forget which islands are called what, but is it Honshu, the middle one, the big one? Or is it Sapporo? I think Sapporo is the north island, isn't it? I don't know anything about Japan, so I'm going to find out. I don't need those Hong Kong charts again, they can go and disappear. Got the other computer, the third screen, and I just put the charts up there, PDF files, and close them when I don't need them anymore. Which reminds me, I probably do need RJBB charts. RJBB. Cool. Zork runway, RJBB is, well, the wind is 290 at 16. I've never flown in an MD-11. It saddens me to say. I have flown in a DC-10 when, actually I haven't. My little tiny baby in a crib has. Don't remember. In New Zealand used to fly DC-10s, as you know, up to the... When did they retire them? 70s? Early 80s? Something like that. And my dad used to fly in New Zealand all the time between Australia and NZ. The profile picture I have, that'll either be the Piper Archer that me and Argent fly in, or it'll be Mike Hotel Golf, the Cessna 172 at Bazair that I first soloed in. That's the only real two pictures of me standing next to an aircraft that I have. Unless it's the 747 World Flight Simulator that you're talking about, which is me taking a selfie like that inside Matt Shields' 747 400 simulator, which is a full motion simulator. It moves, it rocks, it has turbulence. It's amazing. So that's my avatar. Half my face, that one. So they're the only three pictures I normally use. Yeah, they did retire them after the Antarctica crash, but they didn't retire them because of the Antarctica crash. It just happened to be their retirement cycle. And the fact that they were getting 747s. And also the fact that DC-10s had a fairly interesting safety record. Which is to say, bad one. They didn't retire them immediately. They took like maybe 2 years after Erebus, as we might want to call that crash. So that was on 78 before I was born. I think the last one was late 79 or early 80 when they retired the 79. Cool. Anyway, I don't know that much about Air New Zealand. I only flown them a couple of times in my life, if that. Used to fly Qantas until I stopped flying Qantas in 2000 and whatever it was. 2004. Yeah. So 2004 was the last time I ever flew on a Qantas aeroplane. Funny. But I find them overrated these days. And overpriced. Yes, I was going to say I liked the 3 Aborigine liveries. I know there's another one now, so I've just discounted that one as my favourite, haven't I? If I had that connected to my proper thing, I'd point that at my wall back there. But see that green coloured wall behind me? Just above the wall there's a massive Yelani Dreaming, the 737, sitting there. So I'd say that's my favourite. I also used to like Nalinji, which is the blue one, which is sitting out at Avalon Airport with most of bits missing and no engines and that kind of thing. Poor thing. The old 747-300. I can kind of tilt it up in that direction. Excuse the mess, but somewhere in that direction, and I can't see because my thing's not working. Hopefully in that direction you can see the painting or the picture. It's really a photo, air-to-air photo in a frame. Maybe you can't. I wouldn't even know if you can until it happens. And as we've established, that takes a while. Ah, there we go, it's happening now. Yeah, so you can kind of almost see it. There it is, yeah, just above the radio. You've got two model Virgin 737s and the painting of the engine. It's not a painting, it's a photo. Air-to-air photo. Publicity photo. In fact, it's still there, you can see the tail. How about that? I'm way too far over that time. And too far up as well, so I'm going to zoom down. Blah, blah, blah. Let's pick a runway to land on, shall we? At Kansai, or wherever it is we're going. No charts available for this airport at charts.aero. That's not useful. I used to use charts.aero for Japanese airports, but that one's got no charter available at Kansai. What's going on there? Alright, I'm going to use PFBX even though it's not a chart service at all. I'll just get it to randomly generate a runway. It's suggesting 24 right and the Becky D arrival. Becky D, Becky Delta. 24 right, that's the one that's closest to the terminals. 24 right, yeah, 2L LS Yankee. And Becky D, there it is. Transition from Maya. Okay. There it is, hold at Maya, and then through. Okay, since I'm not using a chart, which is probably a bad idea when you're flying, I'm going to have to step through all of this on navigation display. Cool. That's page 1 of 5. Karen. And that's the Maymar thing. You have to circle around the bay. Cool. You fly over another airport, Kobe, K-O-B-E, just around here, yeah, north of Maya, which is another airport which is out in the middle of the bay on a man-made island in Japan. Plenty of those. Beige blonde and straight into runway right, and that actually isn't the runway I was thinking it was. I was thinking we were coming in that direction. That's cool. So that's the one that's furthest away. That's the new runway that isn't in the default scenery. Fortunately, I'm not flying to the default scenery. Just something to take note of. If you fly to Kansai and you've got default scenery, there's a whole runway missing, and if you try to land there, it's just water. Two hours on the clock. As I said, we've got no charts, so we're just going to have to look at what's happening. The NavRad page, 108.5, inbound course 238, I'll just believe it. And let's just go 200 feet radio minimums. And that's set. Okay, so QNH 1017. Starting to get pauses at random. That's a bad sign. Let's go and close everything. That I don't need. TeamSpeak can go. Haven't had that open. Calculator can go. And resource manager I'll keep. Oh, at 1.5, it's not a problem. Steam can definitely go. Windows Media can definitely go. Skype can go. What else you can minimize? Leave it open. Volume mixer is not responding. Close the program. Task manager showing CPU usage is peaking at 100 sometimes. There we go. Plane engine. I don't know much about plane engines. I've always liked the Rolls-Royce on the 747, but then again, Rolls-Royce tend to blow up when they're on Airbus A380s. Well, they don't tend to, but you know. I've always liked that rather fat cow on a RB911, I think it's called. Of course, Rolls-Royce also produced the Trent engine. Wow. What's your favourite engine? One that's named after me. We're in range of RTG control 120.5. Yep, we are. 3-4 left at RJAA, 6 right for RJBB, even though it's got a heck of a lot of downwind. It's got 16 knots of downwind. I can't accept that. So I'm just going to tell them that I'm not going to land on 6 left. I'm going to land on the other one. 2-4 right. Same runway, opposite direction. Tokyo control. Tokyo Control, Emirates 214 Victor, just dropping up from the south of Japan. We're inbound to Kansai.
Three-wing Tokyo Control, network 163, being available 1654170, claim 290.
Oh, is it not for me?
Q climbing to available 290, network 161.
I don't use either Quiet Scoop or VAT Spy. I use ServInfo and I use VATtastic. Say again, squawk code, sorry, for Emirates 214. Copy, squawk code 3620, Emirates 214 Victor. 3620 set. I'll need to turn him up a bit. Let's go. Cool. So yeah, that's the answer to that question. Do I like Quite Scoop or VatSpy? I like ServInfo and VatTastic. I use both of them.
For this control data contact, interferable designer 0, Kansai for runway 3, runway 2, or left.
Expecting runway 24 left, Kansai, and just checking that was descend when ready to 290, or was it maintain 390? Good work, check.
Stock 131, represent to UR. Represent to UR, Stock 151.
If any of you guys heard what he said, feel free to tell. Both of them make sense. That's the problem. It's one of them or the other. Sorry, to maintain flight level 390, that's perfectly normal at this time of distance from the airport. Or if he said, when ready, descend to flight level 290, that also makes sense at this kind of distance from the airfield. I guess we'll just hit the top of the descent point and then ask to go down. That's the usual way. Right, let's do the descent checklist because we're nearly there anyway. Recall, check clear of items. Notes, not there. Auto brake will be 2. Landing data. Let's have a look. There's 2 ways to do this. I always do the calculation method where you just take the gross weight and, well, no, do 2 calculations. Firstly, you take the amount of fuel that you have and then remove the amount of fuel that you're landing at. That'll make a difference. Then you take that difference and apply it to the gross weight, so you take away how much fuel you're going to burn from the gross weight. There's also another way, which is PFPX way. If you're tracking really closely to what the fuel prediction will be, and have been for the whole flight, then you just read the landing weight. Just 1860. It'll be flaps 30, 137. How surprising not. I think the 777-200 has this kind of thing where 137 is its normal kind of stabilized speed, so even if the real stall speed is quite significantly less, it'll still give you 137. That said, I have seen when it's empty, things go down to 134. But I didn't have any cargo or passengers on, just fuel. That's almost every single flight that I do. We end up with 137 on the VRAF. I did say almost, not every single one. Transition in Japan, flight level 140. We'll fill out the rest of the descent forecast as well. We have filings for 320, 240, 160, 8000. 267 at 164.
Yeah, thank you. Your voice is loud and clear. Thank you.
264 at 165. 276 at 94. That's at 16,000 feet. That's huge. Oh no, I got that wrong. Oh well. 267. No, 264. At 165. 276 at 94. The reason I did that is because the first number was higher than our actual cruise, so there's no point putting it there. And 296 at 55. Still quite windy for that altitude. And 306 at 36. Wind at the ground at Kansai Airport is 290 at 16. So landing data is completed and approach briefing kind of done as far as we could do without charts. So that's a normal. Altimeters 1017. I've always found it confusing in Japan because all the meters come with hectopascals, 1017. But when they tell you to descend through the transition, they tend to give you inches, 29 point something. I don't get it. 30.03. This may be an ILS landing. We're getting like little spikes every couple of seconds. That's what I'm getting. Like a lag, but it's not actually a low frame rate. It's like really, really smooth stop. Really, really smooth stop. Smooth stop.
Only for 765 traffic channel across 5 mile template, point 787 available 270, reporting time. Shutdown.
40 miles, top of the sound.
東京コントロール、オルニコン227、Good evening, request ISR 入出調整。
オリコン227、クレルス入調整、バイアナコー3、ディパーチャー、インダクションサウンドサイズ管理。メンテナンスファルボ390、2072、リバース。
オルニコン227、クリアティブ入調整、ナンコ3デパーチャー、オブラトランジション、クランテン370、スコーク2072。
オリコン227、リバース、リポートワンデルフォープ、バース、エクセプショナルウェイ24です。
ラジャー、オルニコン227。
オリコン765ということをuse maintain variable 25。
東京コントロールですね。202エアポートで私のカントロール。
Somebody 202 for the control radar contact, permanently variable 270, make the left hand DX
Siamo nel meccanismo di ruolo, secondo il meccanismo di ruolo, oppure
Emirates 214 Victor, the commencing variable 180.
Runway down flight the 180, Emirates 214 Victor. 180 is set. Going to start sending my flight plan details to the website so we can be nice
Tokyo
and
Control,
fast.
Olicon 227, request pushback.
Olicon 227, contact to runway 24 left, QNH 3003,
3003, pushback approved, runway 24 left, Olicon 227.
Olicon 765, contact control on 119, please, great. Five times before effort.
Tokyo Control, good evening. Air to 119. We are 19 miles to Kansai, level 170.
Air to 119, Tokyo Control, good evening. Prime Monumental Variable 330.
Climb maintain 330. Air to 119.
Descent has begun. Emirates 214 Victor leaves flight level 390 for 180.
Emirates 214 Victor.
Of course. Just gonna grab some
Okay,
spoiler.
control, Oricon 378, good evening, passing flight level 154, climb to 170. Oricon 378, control, good evening, climb right variable 30. Climb on maintain 370, Oricon 378. Tokyo control, Oricon, this is Nena, request capacity. Oricon to Nena, this is 44 number, yes. Taxi to 40 point around 200 Oricon, this is Nena. Tokyo control, order 3. Tokyo control, order 301. Order 3031, Tokyo control, good evening, maintain variable 180. Maintain flight level 1804031.
Speed breakers extended. Nothing more. FMC message. Let's guess. Drag required. And not required anymore. And required again.
Japan Air 877 Tokyo control, you can with your check.
And no longer required.
Control, 110, license 260.
14102 control, making terrible 260.
Maintain flight level 260 on 110.
Just need to check something.
Order 3031, recently flyable 160 by Udo.
Recently 160 by Udo, order 3031. 東京コントロールオージンフォン229 フォローインポイントショートアルファ
Only.29, sorry, window 290 at 20, runway 24 left, 04
So now we need to
ランウェイ
increase.
24レフトクリア45オージンフォン229
As you can see, I've added the next flight, world flight, world leg, what is it? Virtual pilots charity flight around the world, leg 6. That's a long title, isn't it?
Okay, control, hello, JAL, Japan Air 8956 and 212 Kansai, clear to Shanghai. Japan Air 8952, where are you? Kansai. Hey, JAL 8556. Okay, 995.
Nearly go down to it. MS 214 Victor. MS 214 Victor, requesting live.
Tokyo Control, all Nippon 227 Airborne 1300 Volume Drive and ちょっと日本語で失礼いたします。エアボーンしてエアスキートで、急激に風がプラス20ノット増えて49ノットで、吹いてましたのでレポートします。
オリコン27了解しました。ありがとうございます。
Taking control, Emirates 2.
Emirates 4,
Good.
Emirates 41214 Victor to maintain 4000, Emirates 3000.
Down to 4,000 and 3003. Emirates 214 Victor. So I'm talking about 3003 they give me.
Hello, 214 Victor, clear for clear to Maya by 50 Italy arrival.
Wouldn't everyone hazard a guess at that one? Can be cleared, Becky Charlie arrival from Maya. MS 214 Victor.
Order 3103, contact Niigata approach on 121 Dispersal.
Niigata approach 1214, order 3031, good day.
Vino, set.
Maintain flight 160.
103, descend the maintenance, flight level 160.
Deck angle's like -5.
119, just hold C, thank you. Air 2, 119.
Onicon 378 contact Purple Control on 118.
Contact
Cabin crew,
Purple
prepare the
193 on the
aircraft
phone,
arrival.
detonate.
Affirmative 119.
1193 on detonate. Thank you, good night.
transition, we have 3003 set. And we'll check that's on the standby. 3003 set. Approach checklist is complete.
Evening, Oricon 202, flight level 160 for flight level 170. Oricon 202, station control, number level 270. Flyman, maintain flight level 270, Oricon.
Aircraft dead ahead.
Aircraft 202, Aircraft 202, Home road on 118, 119 です。
Contact Sapporo Control 119 decimal 38,
Not sure what's causing that. Just saw the screen kind of going randomly, like in and out and in and out. Just before I took that drink, the last drink of Red Bull that I had. That. Speed brakes extended.
Hello, 8956. Any confirm when we're getting closer? Japan 8956, sorry, clear to Shanghai Pudong by Glory 1 departure, then family. Again, level 340, of 1741 departure. Okay, clear to Shanghai Glory 1 departure, flight 1 route, maintain flight 340, block 1741, Japan Air 8956. Japan Air 8956, do not correct, report when leaving for Pushback, expect
Oh, I saw myself actually.
24 last down, welcome, Japan Air 8596.
Are you talking about Fukushima?
44, 173, contact from Nina approach on 1200,
So Osaka. Although it did affect more than just one place. Airport in sight. Floating in a massive bay.
Tokyo Control, Japan Air 8277, did you check how you will leave? Twenty-four, 8277, Tokyo Control, loud and clear, go ahead. Sorry, Japan Air 877, Japan Air 877, loud and clear.
It's a while ago. Still a problem, but still a while ago. I believe there's still a lot of towns that haven't been repopulated.
Tokyo Control, service 901, flight level 170. Turkish 901, control, Turkish Airport 270.
There's a holding pattern.
Climb and maintain 27, flight level 270, passenger 901.
Is that a parallel entry or a teardrop?
Only for 202、ルートから外れているようです。修正可能です。オリポン202、現在、スクライヘリングで070の方向に向かって、CG をしておりました。はい、了解しました。失礼しました。オリポン202、Visual Navigation Direct, you are uniform indicator.
Camera crew seats for arrival.
Visual Navigation Direct, you are Olympon 202.
You might see me looking up the roof at random. Ever since that little encounter with the spider this morning, I keep seeing things up on the roof that are not actually there. Was that a spider? No. It was a nothing.
Your control, please indicate my incredible 180.
Straight ahead is Kobe International Airport. That's a freeware airport. You can download that from, I can't remember where. It comes with little bits of the coastline, and it comes with the full entire airport, Kobe.
Emirates 1-4 Victor, clear for Irish runway 24 left of us.
Good, that's runway 24, testing goes left.
For Victor, 24 Lima.
Yeah, cool, we'll take that, 24 left. Set it up for right, 2 for left, from there. And we'll track it direct in. No need to hold. Let's delete the hold. Go. Pop that in. Just got there in time. 2,600. Let's do it. We've been cleared the approach. 2,600 is set. They tend not to use the right runway so much because some people don't have it. The whole runway. Let's go flaps 1.
Contact Temporal Control 119, additional 3, on phone 202. Thank you, good day.
Through the clouds, that's a great effect. ActiveSky Next. FMC message, drag is required. Let's do it. Good old Osaka Bay. Looks quite pretty. Let's get rid of that. Let's go flaps 5. Flaps 5 is green. Let's go flaps 15. And 2,000 or above, so let's go to 2,000. Go to VNAV. Perhaps 15 is set. Let's bring that speed back down to 170. Yeah, let's do 160. It's easier. Cabin is ready. Speed vac is armed. Approach mode is selected. We have been cleared for the approach. Runway left.
Turkish 901, contact control of 119.
2500.
Check.
Only for 902 contact for Niigata approach from 121.
Let's bring it down further. 1500. That's why I like runway 34 right better, because you actually are lined up now.
Turkish 901, say again.
Hi there, Beagles Building. How you doing?
Turkish 901, contact Sapporo control
Flaps 20.
119.
Get down.
Contact Sapporo control 119.3, Turkish 901.
Good evening,
Tokyo control, Japan Air 806.
Good evening, Tokyo Control, KL116. You graduated to 60.
This is Kansai, Osaka Bay.
KSFO Tokyo control, please.
Flaps 30.
Maintain 260, KL116.
Landing checklist, speed brake is armed, landing gear down, and 3 green.
Tokyo control,
And flaps,
Japan,
holding the
Tokyo
flaps.
control, good evening, Japan Air 877. Detach engine start 5 way. Get to clearance, Pluto International.
Localizer capture.
Level 300, flow
VRF plus 5, 142 set.
Japan Air 877.
Let's slip capture.
By Rainbow departure, flight transfer. Maintain flight level 300, focus 3451. Roger, good to Pluto International Airport by 40 French. Maintain flight level 300, 551, Japan. Depart to 7.
MS 214 Victor.
Yeah,
From,
877.
we're landing anyway. 1,000 foot established. And stop. Alright, 2 for the left. Click to land. MS 214 Victor.
And Albania 877, Albania 877,
2 for left. Check.
go 5451, Japania 87.
I don't want to land this one because we're getting lots of control spiky kind of things happening, so I don't want to deal with that.
3451.
It's the first order landing of the flight
Sorry,
around the world.
3451.
You get one.
3451, Japania 87. 877, you got this contact. If everyone wants to be available, 160. Disable on the
Approaching minimums.
Japania 549 contact, so Japania 549 contact, so control on
Landing. Check.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Prepare 809 control. Go ahead, LSGG.
80 knots. 60 knots, manual braking.
Prepare 8609, clear to Shanghai via Glory 1 departure,
Flaps.
Center variable 360,
APU.
3174, reverse.
Good to Shanghai 20 via Glory 1 departure, Glory 500, Center variable 360, stroke 3174.
Taxi lights on, strobes are off, and landing lights are off.
8609, reverse express, report landing for fast, express runway 24 left.
Roger, express runway 24 left, and Shanghai 8609, request this way.
Okay, 8609, back up to runway 24 left. QNH 3003.
QNH 3003, Pushback up to runway 24 left, to Shanghai 8609.
Japan 54.
Well, the brake is off. We'll roll the shutdown checklist once we get there. Pick a gate, any gate, and let's go there and shut down. APU is running. Clock can come off. 2 hours and 48 minutes.
Okay, control relay, velocity 9737, request clearance.
I know them. That's another team in this little fly the round world. Kurt Christie is captain of that. Let's get rid of the taxi lights. Gate 30. Time is 13:16. We can depart at 13:45, 46. But we do need to shut down this computer today. It has to be now because it's starting to get a bit ratty. As a result, we will be shutting down here, then turning off the computer. So the next live feed is due to start at about maybe 20 minutes or so. I invite you to join me on that new feed once that's up and running. You should be able to see it in the preview already. Meanwhile, let's shut down the engines. All the hydraulics can go down. Fuel pumps are off. Let's get rid of the frequency. Cool. And let's check that shutdown checklist. Hydraulic panels set. Fuel pumps off. Flaps are up. Parking brake is on. Fuel control switches cut off. Weather radar doesn't exist on the PMDG aircraft. ADIRU can be turned off. Emergency lights, whatever, packs off. And that's cool. So we'll be shutting down here. Thanks for joining. It's been a pleasure to fly from Hong Kong to Kansai. 6 is there. So I'm going to shut down the feed as soon as I can get to that page. That'll let me do that. And don't forget, I'll be taking off again in about 45 minutes to an hour on the reboot. Catch you then.